Hello, State Hornet listeners. I'm Magaly Muñoz, your managing editor, and this is another episode of State Hornet Spotlight. I am with sports beat writer Jordan Latimore and former basketball player Samaad Hector, and we are here to talk about Samaad's journey with basketball and why he is choosing to leave Sac State. So, Jordan, if you want to start it off.
All right. I appreciate it, Magaly. So, Samaad, for our listeners who may not know you, can you just kind of explain your role? Obviously being a former basketball player here, and just kind of, what went into your decision to come here in the first place, bro?
I'm a former men's basketball player here at Sacramento State. Studying law, want to be a lawyer, so pursuing my law degree after I finish here at Sac State. What went into me, putting my name into the transfer portal, it was along the lines of my mental health. Last year, COVID was hard on everybody, and it took a bigger toll on me because, as a military child, I moved around a lot, and so obviously my parents were they were strict, so I grew up in a family where in a household where I couldn't tell my parents things. I couldn't tell them things. So I kind of lived with that my whole life. So when COVID hit, everybody had to stay home by themselves. I kind of went into this headspace that was not healthy for me and probably wouldn't be healthy for anybody. And so then that started to mess with how the team started handling, how the team started performing, and I take the blame for that. I took the blame for that. Because the coaches, they started to focus more on me than coaching the team last year, right? So in the spring, after the Big Sky tournament, all the players, we had to sit down with the coaches one by one, and pretty much what the coaches told me was we can't continue to have you be high maintenance, right? Be a guy we have to focus on individually, other than as a team as a whole. And I understood that. So I went back to Washington, and I got a therapist for the problems that I was going through. And so the summer I came back, and I felt great, mentally, physically, and just like mental health problems. Just like when people are going through something with drugs or alcohol, you can have lapses with mental health problems as well. So that was a mistake on my end. I was talking to my therapist for 3-4 months ongoing, and then I came back here, felt great, and I was like, dang, I'm fixed, right? I'm ready to go. And then my mental health started to decline again, and then I started to fall back into a place where it let my teammates and my coaches, I don't want to speak for the coaches, but I think it let my teammates believe that I was going back to the place where I was last year, being not the best teammate and stuff like that. And I didn't want to put them through that again. So that's why I put myself in the portal.
Yeah. Just talking about just kind of like the timeline of everything. Obviously I was going to ask you so why did you leave when you did? But it sounds like you left when you did after that kind of that initial meeting, right? Going into this next year where the coaches were, talking about you being high maintenance. Just on that point, when they say you're being quote unquote high maintenance or anything like that, how does that make you feel? I mean, because obviously it's not like you can control this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So what were your initial reactions to them saying that kind of stuff to you?
I understood, what they were saying, that they had a focus on me. I was, acting as if I was a selfish teammate. That made me feel, not the best, because I know deep down I love basketball, and I always love my teammates no matter where I'm playing at. And I wanted to be great for my teammates, but there was just a lot of things that I was holding inside, and I didn't tell anybody. Kind of because going back to me being a military child, I just never tell anybody anything. It was a lot that I didn't tell them that they never knew and they never understood. And so yeah, it was just a weird situation, and the timing of it all is it's not ideal, because I'll have to sit out a year if I decide to come back. That's still up in the air right now, but or not come back, but decide to continue to play elsewhere. But the timing of it, obviously isn't ideal. But for me and probably for everybody else too, mental health should trump everything. Because without your mental health, you are not working or operating normally. So, yeah.
Yeah. So when did this all really feel like a real like issue for you in terms of mentally, right? Because you touched already earlier about being in this military environment and not really coming forth with all your feelings about things sometimes. But did you really notice it was a real problem for you later, like kind of in your college life, or was it more so something that you kind of always thought was coming, but you didn't really face it on until now?
It was something that happened before I got to Sacramento. The summer right before I got to Sacramento. I didn't think it was gonna really affect me as much as it did. Going into the year, last June when I first got here, that's when I started to, think, okay, maybe I got a problem. Maybe I got a problem. Things kept getting worse. I was like, maybe I got a problem. Maybe I got a problem. Still never told nobody. And then, me looking at things on the internet, I'm like, dang, I think I got to go see somebody about this. So when I had the time, which was after the Big Sky tournament in Idaho, that's when I took the time to go get myself right mentally.
So I mean, after the tournament ends and the season ends, were you thinking like maybe stepping away from the game was a possibility or anything like that? Like when did that kind of rationalize? You know what I'm saying? Like
it kind of came, I want to say in late August, early September kind of thing. And it was a thing where I stopped talking to my therapist because I thought I was all right. And, going back to what I said before, I was going back to like a dark place, which over the 3-4 months where I was talking to my therapist, it was extremely hard to pull myself out of. So before I went back into that dark place, I figured, let me just attack it now and focus on this. I should be focusing on just this, not basketball, not nothing else, just my mental health, and my family and people who can, support me and help me. And but regarding my teammates, they might see this, and I upset a couple of them. I upset all of them, and they don't understand that I was a military child and I didn't tell people things, so they thought it was something against them, and that's not what it was at all. I had a talk with some of the captains on the team, and they were stressing that, hey, you gotta tell us these things, and it's like, shoot, bro, I don't even tell my dad, I don't even tell my mom, and so. I just, if y'all watch this, I just, I'd like to just say that it was nothing against y'all. I love y'all. Y'all are my guys. I'm rooting for y'all from the top to bottom of the roster. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, and just kind of touch a little bit more on the environment while you were there. Like, how did you feel? Like, did you have access to help or anything like that? Like within the Sac State program, obviously, after Big Sky, you went to Washington, your hometown, and sought after some therapy, but. Did you have people or resources that, like, within kind of Sac State, like, you felt comfortable with, getting help from or seeking attention from or anything like that?
I knew there was,
Mm-hmm.
help, but I didn't go seek it out, because a big part of the fight is knowing when you have a mental health issue, and the next part is getting yourself out of bed, getting yourself out the door, taking those steps to walk over to a therapist and walk over to somebody you trust and love and say, hey, I need help. This is what's going on. Because I know I've seen a couple people go through this, and it's not easy. It's not easy at all.
Yeah. Another thing I kind of wanted to ask you about is just how are you feeling now, man? Like, how long ago did you transfer? Like, was it 2 months ago?
About a month ago.
About a month ago. So obviously you had some time here to, kind of, get away, kind of relax. I was talking to you when we were walking in here, man. You haven't even been on campus. I don't even know how long, huh? So it's like, how are you feeling now? What's the situation with you? Do you think this decision has helped you in any kind of way? How are you feeling right now, bro?
I mean, I have good days, I have bad days, I have horrible days. Right now, there's more bad days than good days. But I'm alive. I'm not 6 feet under, so that's a good thing. I miss basketball, so there, obviously it's always still up in the air whether I decide to play again or not. But I just been taking it one day at a time. My family, obviously they're all spread out around the world. So they've been sticking with me, making sure they check up on me. My friends have been doing a good job of that. Some of the former basketball players made sure they kept checking up on me. All the coaches are still checking up on me. So I feel good knowing that I have the support, because some things they're bigger than basketball. My ex-coaches, they always stressed that it was bigger than basketball. And when they said they loved us, they meant it, player or former Hornet, no matter what. Once a Hornet, always a Hornet. So they're always going to be checking on me, and they're always going to show me that support that they said they would.
You mentioned that you were a military child. How did your parents take it initially after you explained to them kind of what you were going through? Were they hesitant to kind of like help you out, or was it they were like open arms with you?
I still haven't told my dad about it.
Really?
Yeah, he's not on social media, so that he won't see it. So like the things that I say and things that I'm feeling. My family, my blood family related, I haven't really spoken to them about it. My stepmom knows a little bit about it. My mom knows a little bit about it. But my father, my dad, he's my hero, right? I look up to him, try to be like him every day. So after I graduated from high school, the strictness level of him kind of like toned down a little bit. Like he was like, okay, he's an adult, he'll be fine, right? So I have a lot of leeway now of what I can say, what I can't say. But a little part of me is still gonna have that little kid effect. Like, man, what's my dad gonna say about this? So, the overthinking, and the anxiety that that I have is always gonna hit me. When it comes to making a decision about what I can and can't tell my father. So that's a big, step forward for me, is being able to tell him like, hey, a few months ago I was diagnosed with depression. A few months ago I was diagnosed with anxiety. And just, going from there. I don't know what he would say, to be honest with you. And that's the scary part. That's the scary part about it, because, it can go one or two ways with him. Sometimes I feel like, okay, I'm gonna tell him this, and then at the last second I say, no, I'm not gonna say nothing, and then I just keep it with me. So eventually one day, I'll get there and I'll say, hey, I have depression, I have anxiety. Meant to tell you, 2-3 years ago, but it never came to be. I was scared. But yeah, my family, I haven't really spoken to them about it a whole lot. So mainly the people that mainly know is my friends, my teammates, my ex-teammates, coaches. My stepmom, she might know a little bit about it. My mom might know a little bit about it. But my dad, no, I don't.
When do you feel like you're gonna be ready to tell him? Like, what's it gonna take, man?
I think what would make me comfortable, enough to the point for me to tell him, would be, first I gotta handle the problem that gave me the depression and anxiety, and that's going back to something that happened before, or right when COVID was starting to get up and running. So once I go handle that situation, that trauma point, and move past it, I think that I'll be able to then focus on myself 100%, and then my family. Because right now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to cope with what gave me this depression and anxiety first, and deal with it, move past it. So once I do that, then I can try to attack the depression, try to attack the anxiety, and then I could talk to my family about it.
What are some coping mechanisms that you have found, like over the past, or your journey with this, that has helped you?
Sleep. Sleep is good. No, but I go on jogs, a lot because, just to get out and be with nature. I go on walks a lot. I go on hikes a lot. I just like to be outside because, especially after last year, because last year I had to be inside the whole year, and me being an extrovert, that's not the place for me. I do not like being inside, so coping. I just get out, go walk, go run. And me, if you see me on campus, off campus, a lot of times I'll have AirPods in my hair, in my ears, and that's to like block out all the noise. I don't want to be distracted, things like that. So a lot of the coping mechanisms has to do with me being outdoors. So otherwise, if I'm inside all alone, that's a lot of time to think about things that I shouldn't be thinking about, right? And for me right now, it's just dangerous for me to be inside for a long, like, extended amounts of time. So I make sure I go to bed by like 10 p.m. I get up at like 7 and just be out and about, keeping myself busy so I don't have time to be thinking about other things that I shouldn't be thinking about.
Yeah, you mentioned these coping mechanisms and how they're important because obviously this is a battle, man. You're trying to win. You're trying to defeat this stuff, right? And you're trying to defeat this stuff because you want to live your life, right? So, talk about you have aspirations to be a lawyer and do this stuff. I know you got some stuff going on with H&M. We talked about that already in the past. So, how has it been dealing now that you're kind of, removed from basketball and stuff like that? How has it been now transitioning into this new phase of your life, but also kind of still dealing with some of the mental struggles you kind of had to deal with?
It's hard because now that I'm not, playing basketball, it's like I gotta wake up and go to school the whole time, just school, right? It's never been just school for me. It's always been basketball, school, right? So this transition feels a little bit awkward to me, just wake up and go to school, like always having to worry, man, do I gotta go to 6 a.m. weights? Like now I don't gotta worry about that, and
you're just like us now.
Yeah, and to me it feels mainly weird because I like to stay up late, but it's hard for me to be like, okay, I got to go to bed when I don't have anything to do early in the morning, like go to 6 a.m. weights. And things like H&M, they send me clothes every other week. And it's like, okay, well, I don't want to just post pictures of me, in clothes on my Instagram. Like I need some basketball pictures, but I'm not playing basketball. It's just everything feels a little weird, and it's just a big adjustment for me that I'm gonna have to make. So yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, man, because like I know you love basketball. I covered you guys last year. Like you're one of the most passionate guys on the floor, right? And it's just how has it been like dealing with not having hoop in your life anymore? Like, do you still try to go out and go to open runs and stuff, or do you do anything like, or do you even view basketball as like something like that you want to lean on anymore? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the day I put myself in the portal, the day before that was the last time I touched the basketball. I haven't touched the basketball since then. Like when I was in the office with my coaches and I told them I needed out, like I needed to go. I meant that. I was serious about it. Told him I needed to go home and see my family. The few days after I put myself in the transfer portal, I was back in Washington with my friends and my best friends. Coming up soon, I'm going to Germany, see my dad and my stepmom. They live over there, and my younger sisters, and then to Alabama to see my mother, and then to Switzerland to see my aunt, my uncle, all that.
I guess mental health is a really big thing, obviously, but it's not seen a lot in men. At least they don't speak about it. What gave you the strength to at least come on here and to talk about this issue? Because you talk about it really well. You don't seem very hesitant to like share that. So like, what gave you the strength to be able to kind of talk about it?
I don't know. I just, I will always, rotate things back to my father. I think me growing up, obviously I don't speak about things, but that's just, to, certain people, like people individually. I feel like right now, I'm talking like when I speak, I'm speaking to a big crowd. It's a little bit different because in a crowd of 1,000 people, 100 of those people, 200 of those people might be dealing with the same thing that I'm dealing with and afraid to speak up, you know. So when we talk about things like, you know, going to see a therapist or like what are your coping mechanisms, this is me trying to tell them, hey, try this, you know, hey, try that. Because as I said before, I've seen some of my friends go through this, you know. I've seen some of my friends commit suicide, you know, and I do not want to see that happen to anybody else. So by any means I can help the next person and the next person take after me and then that next person helps somebody else, that makes me feel so much better about things because this is a serious problem, right? And for about a year and a half, I was dealing with it by myself. Like I was thugging it out by myself. Didn't tell my teammates, you know, didn't tell my family. And it got to a point where I was like, they could have helped me, right? I didn't have to put myself in the transfer portal if I would have just, you know, got out of my stuck ways and talked to somebody, right? But I take it all as a learning experience, and you know, you learn and grow from it. So me learning and growing is a big part of it. Is I have to start talking about things. You know, I'm gonna have to tell my dad what I'm going through. I'm gonna have to talk about uncomfortable things because if you want to not be uncomfortable, you have to go through uncomfortable. And me right now sitting here, 100% I'm uncomfortable. 100% I do not like talking about my feelings with people, right? But would I rather not talk about my feelings with people and see one of my best friends commit suicide again? Or would I talk about it, help other people, and, you know, save lives, right? And I think I would choose the latter because I've seen it happen too many times, you know, and I've seen my friends lose friends. I've lost friends. My dad's lost friends, you know, and you know, it just breaks my heart, you know, to see things like this happen. And, you know, my whole life I went through, you know, thinking that'll never happen to me. And now look at me. I have everything I want, you know, loving family, best friends in the whole entire world, but I'm not happy, right? You can have everything you want and not be happy. And that's because of your mental health. You know, if you don't have mental health, you don't have anything. You have nothing to go about your day with, you know, because, you know, you could be overthinking every little thing, right? And that's what I did last year. I overthought every little thing. I thought my teammates hated me, thought my coaches hated me, you know, and then I brought that to this year, and it was all bad. Now, if I would have simply just, you know, went and saw a therapist, went and talked to somebody about it, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. But we are, and so this is me learning, this is me growing, this is me talking about it. This is me saying, hey, I love you, I want to help you. You need to love the next person, help the next person, and, you know, so on and so forth.
Touching back on that again, I mean, like you transferring, you leaving this school, that takes a lot of courage. And doing everything you've done takes a lot. You coming here today takes a lot of courage. What is your direct message? The floor is yours right here. What is your direct message to people out there that are going through something similar to you, where there's something they got to detach themselves from, or fear they're facing because of their mental health? What's your message to them, and what would you kind of recommend that they do?
I would first say, you know, like I know what you're feeling. You know, I know what you're going through. Being afraid is completely normal, and it is 100% okay. And if you need to just talk to anybody, please go talk to somebody, because it may be a learning experience, but some of the decisions you make, you might regret. All the decisions I made, I don't regret it one bit, because I'm growing from it. But I've seen some people not grow. I've seen some people shrink from it, and not ever make it out. So it'll be a battle, and you got to fight that battle. And, you know, people say it's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up. I'm getting up, right? and I'm gonna fight back, and I need you to do the same. And if nobody's told you today, I love you. I love you all. If you all have, are going through something, yes or no, I love you all, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much
No
for
problem.
talking about it. We really do wish you the best
Thank
in
you.
all that you do. Where do you hope to see yourself kind of? And then obviously mental health is very day to day. Where do you hope to see yourself, in the future?
And I know I'm kind of just, day to day, taking it a day at a time. So, deep down, a big part of me wants to play basketball still. But as long as this mental health issue is lingering, I'm gonna have to put that to the side and kind of do my thing. But hopefully, I'm not gonna rush anything, obviously. But hopefully next year, I go to a new team and I play, and I feel like how I felt 2-3 years ago. But right now it's a battle. It's an uphill battle. Still pushing uphill. Will forever be pushing uphill. And yeah.
I mean, this is kind of a far-fetched question, but I mean, are you willing to not play basketball again if that's what it takes?
100%.
100%.
Yeah. If I gotta.
How does that make you feel?
It breaks my heart, to be honest with you. I've been playing basketball since I was 3 years old. So that's 18 years of my life that I've been playing basketball. And I had big plans to go overseas, play professionally. But as I said before, if you don't got mental health, you don't got nothing. So that's the first thing and the only thing I got to focus on.
Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for talking about
Thank you for
this. We
having me.
really do appreciate it.
Mhm.
Make sure to, follow us on anything else, and, please take your mental health seriously. Like Samaad said, it's the only thing really that you have, and it's the only thing that's going to push you forward and to guarantee you a future.
Mhm.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time, man.
Yep.
Yes, sir.